Hi, I'm Kevin, and this is a Kevin's Shop video. Today I'm working on a project. I want to build a rack to hold these wood auger bits on my pegboard, and I want to put them up by my brace. And I thought that I would build a rack for them, and the material I'm thinking about using is this leftover piece of landscape edging, and use that to build the rack. I have my 3 pieces cut out here, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to drill some holes in these 2 lower plates here. So I think I'll use some masking tape on this one here. I'm going to go ahead and put 12 marks on here. This ends up being 1.25 inches, and I'm going to use this as my little guide here. Then I'm going to go ahead and center punch these marks with my automatic center punch. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and drill some pilot holes in this strip of metal that I've marked and center punched. So I've drilled my pilot holes through this smaller plate, and what I'm going to do is I've clamped this on top of this larger plate and positioned it, and then I'm going to use the top plate as a guide and go through here and drill the same size pilot hole through this lower plate, using this top plate as a guide. So I've got my holes drilled in these 2 plates, and my drill bits, the shafts vary in size, so I'm going to start out on this upper plate and drill 4 1/4 inch holes, and then I'm going to do 6 5/16 holes, and then for these 2 last larger bits I'm going to do 2 3/8 holes and drill those in my drill press. And now I'm going to notch out the upper plate on just one side. Okay, I've made these pieces out of the landscape edging, and next step is to weld these together. So I'm going to put this piece up here up against this rolled edge, and I'm going to spot weld it in a few spots, and then I'm going to weld this one at the bottom here. I've welded this top plate on, and now I want to weld this lower plate on, and I want to tip this lower plate up a little bit just to push the bits back towards the back of the rack so that when it's hanging on the wall the bits will stay back. So I bent this bracket that has a slight angle on this bottom plate, and I'm going to use this as a holding jig for my welding. I've got this welded up, and I want to hang it on pegboard. So I took a couple of these pegboard hooks and cut them off, and I'm going to weld these on to each end of this holder. I'm going to make a front plate for this bit holder, and I've cut a pattern out of cardboard, and I'm going to transfer that shape to this piece of landscape trim. I've got this piece cut out, this front piece for this bit holder, and I've made a mount for it. This is 1/2 inch by 3/4 steel. I've drilled down through it and tapped it for this thumb screw. Then I've cut a notch for it so this can slide on the front and then lock down. And what I'm going to do is then just weld this to this plate here. I've got my parts made up, and I'm going to go ahead and prime them and paint them. And this is the completed auger bit rack. Most of my bits were Miller Falls, so I decided to add a decal. This rack can also be used on a workbench, or it can be hung on pegboard.